Hey guys, Tuesday, August 6th, 2024. Let's see what the Black Widow has for us today. As you can see, we got this nice hammer candle. Yesterday, buyers are showing up here. Didn't fill the gap fill, which is right here, 184-ish. But they're showing up. You can see volume is confirming it. So let's see. There's a couple of things I want to show you. But before I even go that, I want to show you my Elliott wave chart. And guess what happened? It has adjusted. Because we are now digging in. You know, the programmer is going to do what's going to show. So I'm just going to follow what it's showing. And so far, a wave 5 on February 20th. A, B, C. You get kind of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 waves into this B, C. And you have a 1, 2, and now we're in a wave 3. Interesting. Before this was a wave 3, and this is a wave 4, and now it has switched to a wave 3. And projection targets, which I didn't indicate that, but wave 4 and then a wave 5 into the future. So I don't know. Very interesting. And if this is not a wave 3, I highlighted this wave 3 as $1.67. That number is rings a bell because I've been watching that number. $1.66, $1.67. Also watching, 177, 176, 78 around there. So this number has meaning here. But anyway, I just wanted to show you Stokes are oversold. Now we're at the bottom phase, kind of like when we were at the top phase right here. And we hit a peak. Now we're in that stage where we're building up for a bottom or swing low. How long is it going to take? We don't know, but I figured I'd show you what the Elliott wave count has become now. So let's see. This may be right. This may be wrong. Maybe this is a 1, 2, 3. But if this is the case, then it may show there's more downside because we got to end in a wave 5. But, that's just... the Elliott wave guys are going to be like, oh, this is crazy. This is not the right count. It's going to be like that because everybody has a different way of looking at it. And it's a different technique. But either way, right or wrong, I figure I show it to you. Now, I wanted to go to the good stuff. So let's look at our trend line on a log scale chart to see where we at now. So we're holding that trend line. We pierced it yesterday. And so far, finding support. And that trend line on a log scale chart is from that low to this low here. So if you want to follow, this is where we at, right there on a log scale chart. Let's go into our simple glance chart. Let me look at the weekly. If there's anything kind of setting up a hockey stick, but nothing really there. We're back in the mobile. We're 193. Yeah, nothing really on the bigger picture. Let's just look at here. So we're still holding this. MACD is still positive. Yesterday looked negative, but now it's turned to positive. So nothing really there. Let's go into our geometry. So this is where I wanted to maybe spend some quality time. Let's look at our APF. So far above the midpoint from these two swing points. So that's a good sign. You're smack in the middle in regards to geometry on the APF. On the channels, you're below the key midpoints, but you're finding support here and kind of finding resistance there. And let's see, FT levels. This is interesting because we're now just kind of hovering around these FT levels. These are, I call them the DNA levels of nat gas. And this is one of Gann's technique, and I like to browse it because then it kind of feels like, yeah, we're just kind of stalling here. But if we could just shoot from here, and if it fills a gap, it would be like a quick capitulation and then maybe rip. This is an area of interest to me. And obviously, the gap fill, I had to make it bigger so people could notice that we're almost there, so it's like, and it may not fill it because I'm gonna tell you something. There's a lot of things happening right here, and I sent out like I don't know if it was like I guess I don't know, I responded to some of the traders that interact with me on the YouTube comment section, and then I put one on the community one on the YouTube channel. Today is an interesting day, and it has something to do just zooming out of the box, as I would say, like zooming out. One against techniques that he teaches. So I wanted to let the traders that are really in trading nat gas that I interact with to be watching today and to watch volume. It may play out, it may not. But there's something that has to do with price and time and today. And if it does manifest that something happens today that it's weird and it just like explodes or whatever, I'll reveal the technique. But it's one of his techniques, and it doesn't work all the time, but he teaches it, and he says always watch that because changes of trend happen. Like a lot of his other techniques, you just have to just have them all in your head and study them, and then when you see things happen, go for it. But also know that the Black Widow plays tricks, so she could trap us, and it could be a dud. So if it explodes, it may hit some levels and then turn back down. You never know. So I'm just kind of showing you all the scenarios. But today, and one of the techniques is very interesting. So I'm going to be watching price action. I woke up super early to see if there was like a big candle or bull kicker, but nothing has really happened in the overnight session. So my SO, this is the halfway point, and it pulled back. So I'm giving it 3 days. We got 1, 2, 3 to see maybe something happens here in the halfway point. And knowing that the third day here is an interesting candle or an interesting technique that is also in conjunction with this halfway point. It's like a cluster of things here. So if nothing happens, then the next dates that I'll have on my radar is from my swing point here, which is, and I looked up, the 7th is not Thursday. Thursday is the 8th. I was thinking the 7th is Thursday. The next date I'll be watching is the 8th. And then there's a cluster of things happening over here between the 13 and 14 that I'll also be watching. So we kind of go sideways here. Then maybe they're accumulating distribution right here. And maybe here is maybe where a trigger will go, or wherever the Black Widow wants to go. So I'm waiting for the volatility points to kick in. So these are the 2 dates I'm watching for volatility, or maybe a change in trend, 813, 814, and 817, and then 87. So this is ahead of the EIA report. So I don't know if this is, and this is just me speculating, it fills a gap, and then the numbers are really good, and then it rips, on Thursday. I don't know. Just speculating. There. So let's see. Anything else? I think that's it. This is probably the most important chart here, is the swing chart, because this is where I got a lot of the techniques that I'm watching. And then this one is further out. This is the 19th and the 28th. But this one has these timing points have to do with the June 11 high. The other ones are more Gann stuff. Let's go into so look, interesting. Look at this candle. Look at this hammer. You see that hammer? That's interesting. We haven't had a candle like that in a long, since June 11th. Look at that. I got to make this big so you can see how interesting price action has become now. Look at that. See that candle? That's a hammer candle. According to the candle technique, you can look it up on Google or cheat sheet. You could type in candle patterns cheat sheet. That's like a reversal candle or a possible reversal candle. So it's getting interesting now. On top of that, the $1.94 is the April 14 low of 2023. Yeah. So and then the FT levels I showed you. Remember the FT levels? The DNA levels of nat gas. This is it. This is that area. So, we gotta pay attention now. Things are getting a little more interesting. And look at that. We got kind of two hammer candles right here on the daily chart using the monthly pivots. Right? Yep. So our low of last month was $1.99. We need to regain that and start stepping away from $1.88 low, if that's the case. And just start seeing price action go, like this way, away from that, if this is the low. So that's what we got to focus on. Mobiles are looking good, a little in, but not below at least this. So it's positive. Stokes are still kind of sideways. On the 4-hour chart, this is what's going to get interesting on the 4-hour chart. Our mobiles are positive, so any little snapback or pullback could be bought up and pushed higher. We got a 50 moving average coming in at 197. You got this 25% level that has been strong, has been stalling there, which is the 197. If you look at the Gann square of 9, that's the 135 degree right here. So this is a lot of area right here that we need to break through with force. And if we could break through with force here, your next target would be $2, and then your midpoint for the week, which is 203. So we got all week to get above, or at least kiss this angle. If we could get above there and close for this week, it could be a good chance that maybe this could be your swing low. But too early to tell, because the Black Widow, likes to play tricks, but too early to tell. But so far, this is promising on the 4-hour. The Stokes, you see the Stokes, especially the green line, when it was below this line, it was just a lot of head fakes. But now the Stokes is above the 20 and it's above the midpoint. So now this is a snap, as of right now, could be a snap back up. As long as the Stokes are pushing higher and continue the momentum, especially this green one, any little TPs like this will be buying opportunities, but too early to tell. I'm just kind of speculating. Once we could close at least above $1.97 and above this 50 moving average. But the trend is white. It's just kind of choppy and stagnant on the 4-hour. And on the 1-hour, you are above the midpoint, which is good. In the overnight, you didn't really sell off and close below. And now, it's too early to tell. The US session hasn't opened, but normally it's more like sell off, kind of go sideways, US open pop, sell it, kind of go sideways, US session pop, sell it, kind of go sideways, pop and sell it, and then buyers showed up. And we went up in the overnight session, kind of sideways below, but now holding your midpoint, which is $1.92. If we could stay above here and push and close above $1.97 and above the 200 moving average on the 1-hour, things are looking a little different. Just a little different, that it's not continuing to push lower. But just remember that the gap fill is below there, if it is going to fill it. So for today, we got our low of 188. And if Black Widow's gonna push it lower, you have targets to 185 all the way to 183. And this will then be your gap fill, this area right here. Then I won't even talk about gap fill. I could just delete that chart. But if it doesn't go down here and it doesn't, violate 188 or close below 192, this is a strong level right here. Also 190. That's your 90-degree angle on the square of 9. If we could hold these, then you're going to deal with the moving average, and targets to the upside is $1.99 all the way to a $2, $2.01. So this is if you're scalping. That could be a nice target to the upside. Now, let's say if maybe, this thing is going to explode to the upside, then obviously you got to take out $1.99 and you got to go to $2 and then 203. So all the way in that ballpark. Yeah, so we'll take baby steps. At least if we could get here, we're accomplishing something positive. Yep. And let's see, yeah, the 4 hours, a little negative. See that they pulled it back. But let's look at our square of 9 and we'll end this video. So we went as low as 188. You know what's interesting? That from the 188 lines up with 152, which is our February 20th low. This is the 190 degree I've been telling you about. It could be support now. And right here is where officially the gap is filled, somewhere around here. And like I said, if they want to play traps and tricks, 177 to 176 could be your bear trap. And if they want to do a really extreme, I've been watching 166, 164, 163, 167. That's the wave 3 projection on the Elliott wave theory or technique that I'm watching at. So anywhere around here could be your extreme bear trap. Anything past 163, it could get really ugly. Could be that we're going to test 152. So just look at those ranges and numbers. Past 163, watch out. It could get ugly. We could revisit 152. So bear trap, extreme bear trap. Past this, watch out. Fill gap right here, especially here, bear trap. And if we could close above 197 and get to 204, high probabilities we get to 211, and maybe the August rally could continue. But that also, you have to factor in supply and demand. If we have no demand, then all of this is not going to pan out or play out. This is just key levels, thinking that maybe the turn is just around the corner. Well, I'm going to sign out. Good trading. I am on the sidelines just to make it official. I am watching like a hawk, especially this week, because average return by week is very positive. Using statistics, I think today statistically is a down day, but I have to look at the charts. So don't take my word on that, but I'm just kind of looking at what I was looking at yesterday. But anyway, I'm going to sign out. I don't want to make this video too long. Let's see what the U.S. session opens will bring, and I'll keep you posted on my thoughts on that gas.